Good morning. I'm Sierra with Corefact, and this is a monthly series that we are doing to help those of you who are referring on behalf of Corefact to empower you with ways to service your agent clients. And really, that's just to reiterate. You've heard me say this before, but that's the goal of this relationship. Is we want more transactions for our clients that we're supporting, because that's how we have a healthy industry when there are transactions happening. It helps you, it helps us, and of course, it helps our agents, and those are our mutual clients. And so many of you are in the business of serving them, helping them generate opportunities. That this is one of the many tools in your arsenal. And today we are going to cover the concept of how they could potentially save money. So I am going to keep this, my goal every time is to keep it under 20 minutes and just hit some really key concepts that you can share or have in the back of your mind. As always, you have our customer service team available for questions. You have our customer experience team, and that would be either Jasmine, Mylene, or Rosenda, who can do one-on-one demos for you or your agents and can sit with them and go through concepts and strategies with them as well. So you've got a whole team here to support you. You can reach out to me at any time if you have questions, and hopefully this has been a beneficial relationship for you and will continue to be one. So I'm going to share my screen, and today we are going to be discussing EDDM, purchase points, co-branding, the campaign manager, and promo codes. So I am in the Jessica Sellers account. If you do not have a Corefact account set up, let us know. We can set one up for you. You all have access to this account as well. This is the Jessica Sellers demo account, and the username for it is Jessica_Sellers. The password is Corefact. Why would you use this demo account? You don't have to, but what I like about it, and the reason I like to use it, and we're not going to spend too much time on this, but the reason I'm in here and showing it today is because it populates with listings and with responses. So if you're demoing your own account, you are not listing properties, so you wouldn't be able to demo our auto populate or any of the, if we go into the contacts area and any of the responses, you're not going to have data in here. So Jessica Sellers would be demoing that. We're not really going to dive into any of those topics today. I'm going to show you a couple other things, but that's why you would potentially want to use the Jessica Sellers account if that would be helpful. Okay, EDDM. Let's talk EDDM pros and cons. So targeted mail is what we do the most of, and there are great benefits to targeted mail. You can use variable data. So if we go into our regular postcard section and look at something like the home estimate, you're probably all familiar with this. We're actually going to have a webinar next month that goes into this in depth, but this is where we're using variable data to get the attention of the recipient. We have a call to action with the QR code that is specific to that homeowner so we can track it. All of those elements are not going to be available on an EDDM card, because an EDDM card is going to be the same for every person in a courier route. And so EDDM stands for Every Door Direct Mail, and it is a system or a program that the post office, the USPS, put together a number of years ago. We've actually replicated their mapping system and integrated it into ours so that you could, if you were placing an EDDM order, use our system to generate the EDDM area. So why would someone want to do EDDM if you're not able to use the variable data and track your pieces? Cost per piece. And let's look at these, for example. If we go back into the postcards and we look at something like a just listed card, and we want to do the larger size, which is going to be closest in comparison to EDDM, the super jumbo postcard, if we look at the cost of this, let's pick one of these super jumbo cards here, and it's going to load it. Look at the cost here. So we're looking at 500 pieces for 61 cents. Sorry, that's print only. 101 to mail that marketing mail. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is the 5 3/4 by 11 size at 500. Now let's go over in the EDDM section. And if we go into EDDM, one thing about EDDM is By nature of the postal requirements, the minimum size is an 11 by 6. So we also offer the proof of production and sales portfolios, which would be full sheet sizes. Those are going to be 8.5 by 11. But just for comparison, we were looking at something that was closer to this size, 11 by 6 here. The other one, remember, was 11 by 5 3/4. But look at the cost. At 500, we were at $1.01 in the targeted mail. Here we're at 73 cents. Big cost savings. Okay, remember the title of today's topic was How do they save money? EDDM is a huge way to save money. What are the cons of EDDM? So one thing is the pro is you're going to get a bigger piece. The con is in many cases, you're committed to a much larger area. So with targeted mail, you're able to send as few as 25 pieces through our system, and you're able to integrate mailing lists that maybe you have helped them come up with that have certain likely to sell attributes that the agent might want to employ. With this, you're sending to everybody. And so if we look at what a career route could look like, and I'm just going to pick a back here to get into the addressing options. And okay, this is cropping really weird, but just ignore that. I want to get to the mapping. That was a funny one. Okay, and I'll put in my zip code. You can all come to my house. And let's see some career routes here in Pleasanton, sunny Pleasanton, California. And let's pick this first one. And what it will do if you put in a zip code like I did is it'll pick the center point of town. So this is not necessarily where I live, but let's look at this location over here. And I see this route that I've selected. I look in the bottom right of this green area right here, and there's 374. So out of the gate, I've gone from maybe I wanted to send to as few as 25, or our average number of homes, which is around 250 is what agents typically send to. If they're an elite and committed client, maybe they're sending to 500. But here we're at 374. That's actually a smaller courier route. So think of the density of your area that they're sending to as well. A delivery person can get to more dense areas more quickly, so they're going to have more people in that area versus if it's something that's spread out. Here's another route. It looks like there's 460 here. Here's another one, 512. There's a whole bunch of them here. They're looking like they're averaging 3 to 500 in this area. They also, another maybe negative about courier routes is look at this one. Sometimes they're spread out really strangely. And so you're getting, this whole strip, but often agents don't want to, they want to work in a more concentrated area. So you're kind of at the whim of the route and how the route is devised. Like this is kind of a crazy route, this one that I'm looking at right here with this blue. I don't know if you can see this, but it kind of stretches like the width of town and you're way at the one end and way at the other end. I don't know any agent that would be the area that they'd be working. That'd be really weird because I imagine, the areas are more, located like this. But you can kind of see, you would pick the route, you could go through. And then one thing you can do with this is you can choose to only have residential, which will isolate the businesses out of the mailing, which can be really helpful if they don't want to target those. So that does help save on some of the money. And then you can build this by adding more and more routes to it. And so I can add this one and this one and this one. Maybe I do want to get that middle one. And all of a sudden now I'm up to 2,900. So who's this going to benefit? Mass mailers that want to brand at large. They are going to save per piece in an astonishing way. I mean, what were we looking at there? A 30-cent-ish cost savings, or 29 cents? I can't do math, but whatever that was a substantial, like third of the cost savings to send to EDDM. Again, you're not going to have anything targeted on the address list. On the address, it doesn't say their name. It will say postal customer at. So that is how it is addressed. And so it doesn't feel as familiar. So again, what are the use cases for this? Someone that wants to save money and is willing to commit to an entire courier route, they have to send to the whole route there. As an example of someone using this, I have a neighbor who markets in Pleasanton and is a good friend of mine, and she's a Corefact client, and she will alternate between EDDM and first class or standard mail, depending on the messaging of her piece and the tone of it. So when she is promoting a sale, for example, she will blast that via EDDM to the community at large because she really wants to get that out there. And EDDM also is not priority handled from a timing perspective. So if it's a sold, then maybe it doesn't matter as much. But when she has an invitation to something that is a personal event that she is doing a community outreach, she'll do that as targeted mail because she is working with specific people. She wants to have the name as a variable data on there. Sierra, you're invited to come to this event. So it feels more personal and it's addressed with the name. So she uses both and kind of alternates depending on her messaging. So I wanted to bring that up because EDDM is definitely a way to save money and just wanted to get into it a little bit. I'm halfway through our time. Let's see if I can get through the other 4 points in the next 10 minutes. Can I do it? It's going to be a race. I'm going to talk fast. Okay. Purchase points. I think everyone knows about purchase points, but I want to just go over it again. Purchase points are a way that agents can bank their expenses through Corefact. So if they know they're going to spend at least $2,000 with Corefact over the next, few months, or they're committed to a campaign or something like that, they can get additional bonus points, and a bonus point equals dollars. So it's 100 points equals $1, but they're going to get additional bonuses when they buy purchase points. So it's a way to buy down their cost. So that's just a way, again, they need to be committed to spend it, and they do expire. So they have a year to use them up. That's the other key point. They don't last forever because we just can't, it's the way the banking works. We just can't float all that money. But it is a great way for someone who says, you know what, I want to do this, but I really need to watch my budget. Is there anything I can do to just shave off a little bit or get some additional bang for my buck? Purchase points. We often hear, and we are not giving financial advice in any way, but we often hear agents towards the end of the year when they are looking at their marketing expenses for the year that they will buy purchase points for the next year so that they can use them the following year, but credit them to a year when they were successful. So that would be a tax write-off then that they could apply to the existing December and that year. Co-branding. I think you're all aware of this as well, but just to reiterate that in any order, if we go into a postcard, let's go into a bright side one. Co-branding is a way that they can share expenses and in theory, save some money if, for example, they want to co-brand. So the front, I picked just the duck incoming bids, but I'm going to choose a team back. So let's start this order. And I want to walk you through all the way to the end because I want to show you the checkout process. So the idea, let's use an existing list just to go fast here. And let me just get to the checkout here. So I want to show you the checkout page. I accept. It's going to look amazing. Here we go. Go to checkout. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show you. And sorry, I had to build a whole thing to get there. But my options when I go to checkout are I can do it by percentage. So I don't have a valid credit card number in here. This is the Jessica Sellers account. But if you see this amount right here, I can put in by percentage. Why is that important? Because our mortgage friends can pay a percentage of the card that they are represented on. So if they are on half of the back, for example, if the front is all the real estate agent, but they're half of the back, like this example that we just showed could be a good example of that. With the duck was really, talking about referrals for the real estate agent, but the back had equal branding. In theory, that would be 25% of the card that the mortgage person could potentially pay for. So they can actually put in the percentage right here that they would be paying for, and then the agent would pay the rest. So this is just a way that agents could potentially save some money. What I like, so of course, we've seen mortgage and agents work together. I also really love the where do we have it? Tear off business card concept. I don't know if you've all seen this, but if we go into just the design of it, this isn't not this design. This is a tear off business card. So it's perforated here. And this is a little bit larger and more expensive piece. But here's the idea. Partner with a local business. So this is for the agent and promote that business. So that could be frozen yogurt, a yoga studio, a dentist, whatever it is, but make an offer to that local establishment that then becomes this coupon. So maybe you've got the agent's contact information on the front, and on the back is a coupon, buy one, get one free yogurt, buy one, get one free boba, whatever it is. I love that idea. Why is that brilliant? Number one, it shows that the agent is tied into the community and supporting local business. Number two, it gives the community a reason to take off this card. And then number three, the agent's going to save some money because in theory, the person that is they're promoting for is going to help subsidize the cost of this payment. And so maybe they split the cost or whatever they agree on. Love that idea. But that is a great way for an agent to maybe share in the cost of marketing. So either co-brand with a mortgage person. If you are in a state, some of you are in states where you can co-brand with them. I'm not going to get into that because we have lots of people from different states. If you're not in one of those states, don't do that. Follow your RESPA rules accordingly. But or they could co-brand with a local business. And I love that idea too. Okay, I've got 3 minutes to the last two. I'm going to do it. Just you watch. Okay, campaign manager. We have a couple of campaign tools that are designed to help agents really automate and schedule their listing or schedule their mailings, which makes it just more efficient for them to do marketing because it's set up for them. And if it would load, that would be helpful. The purpose of a campaign manager, and you've probably seen this before, but this is our campaign manager under campaigns, which doesn't cost any money. They would go in and build this using our existing templates and create their own campaign. Why is this helpful? How does this help save money? Because they're going to know exactly what they're spending every month. And part of having a budget and sticking to a budget is being consistent with your expenses and know what your expenses are. So if they know, okay, I've got a budget of the year, what we always recommend to them is look at 12 months. We know mailing is a long-term game. We know that you're going to see results after consistent mailing. And so commit to that 12 months. And if all you can send out is 100 cards, that is way better than sending out 1,200 cards one time, because it's going to be that consistency that's going to build that reputation and help them be well known in their area. Campaigns will help them stick to a budget because they know what's going out every month. And so look at the marketing budget they have for the year and divide by 12, and that's what they're committing to. If they can't send out every month, but they want to send out consistently, maybe they walk and do door knockers every other month. So that would be another way. But campaigns are going to help with that because it's going to build in that consistent spend so they can create and stick to a budget. Okay, last point. I've got 1 minute. And it's a quick one, so I'm going to make it right here. See this bell notification? We just added this recently, and you know that we have these exclusive to you and the people that you refer promo codes. But we thought maybe we would make it a little bit easier for the people that you're referring and put them in their accounts. So when you refer through your referring mechanism, whatever that is, you will see those accounts are going to have the promo codes pre-populated. So you don't just tell them that they're there. Look at all these. There's so many different promos they can take advantage of that are going to help them save money. In addition to those quarterly promos that I just showed, because Corefact is celebrating our 20th year, have some exciting promotions that we're running in the month of June. So depending on what they're ordering and what they want to take advantage of, there's a slew of offerings in this notifications tab that they can take advantage of. Some of them are exclusive to you and your referrals, and some are just available to everyone through Corefact, but that's where they're located. We wanted to make it really easy for you to find them. Okay, I'm done. Did it in 20 minutes. Down and dirty, super quick, trying to keep this very short to really just inspire you with some ideas to share with agents that are looking for ways to save money. All right, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but we're always here to help you and your agents with their marketing and appreciate you being here. Hope that helped. Thanks, everyone. Bye.